Right, in the preparation for actually getting this thing going, I've been checking over the engine and other parts, etc. Clutch works, moves easily, but what I found is that the throttle's stuck, which probably means that I didn't drain the carbs properly, and so this is all gunked up inside. So what I need to do is remove the air boxes, the air filters. So there's the air filter there, and there's the channel that goes in the car, but these are rock solid, and if I start taking this off I'm going to split it, and these are not replaceable. I can't find these anywhere in good condition. So if you've got this kind of situation where the rubbers and this kind of stuff are rock solid, the best thing to do is to actually use a hairdryer and to heat up the rubber boot gently, so that it becomes flexible. So you can see how this one is now a bit more flexible, and then once it's warm, then you can then remove the parts. So I'm gonna just on this side, so I'm gonna pull the bike out a bit, get to the other side. If I can get you in a good position, I'll get you in a position so you can see as we go through heating up the bushes, the boots, taking off the air filters, and then removing the carbs. This is probably all seized up inside, so I'm going to have to follow the throttle back to the splitter up here somewhere, undo the throttle cables and take the carbs off in one piece, and then disassemble, clean and reassemble these. So I'll get you in a position and we'll get the other air filter off. So the first thing is we've got a bolt up here to undo, 10mm, and then down here we've got a screw, one of the Japanese heads, but if you're careful and it plays ball, you can do it with a Phillips, but it's better to get the proper screwdrivers for these Japanese threads, but I haven't got the proper screwdrivers, so I just have to use a Phillips very carefully. So that off, that loose, clip off, and that's solid. So hairdryer on and warm it up. So now we've got the rubber suitably warmed up, now it's flexible, and now we can very carefully tease it off, hopefully without splitting or breaking it. So I'm going to leave this to cool down, at which point it will go hard again. And I've been looking at some videos about how people have been making these soft again using oil of wood green or something like that. So maybe that's a future video, because this is going to go rock solid. Let's take the other one now, it's been cooling in the time that's taken. So yeah, using the same pressure, that's how much flex. Yeah, very hard. Right. Okay, next challenge is to follow the throttle up. I'll move you to the splitter here. I'll open this up, hopefully disengage the cable from the throttle, disconnect it from these, which are the ones that go to the carbs, and then take this off with the carbs off in one go, and then divide the two carbs up from the choke lever, and then strip clean the carbs. Just one top tip, make sure you put your wife's hairdryer back where you found it. Top tip. Okay, we're disconnecting the throttle cable, so this is the adjustment. Gives you your play, undo the lock nut, thread all this all the way up, and the next place we're going is down there. So this is the split where the throttle cable comes from the bike. So I'm not going to get much play there, so I'm just going down to the carbs where I can hopefully adjust the tension on them as well. Oh, but again, all the rubbers are all they haven't got any space in them at all. Right, so let's take you off here. So what I'm trying to do is get some slack in this cable. So what I've done, undone this, but of course the actual piston bit is actually stuck in there. So open that one up, likewise open this one up, and I'm going to get some carb cleaner and get some carb cleaner in there, and hopefully that will loosen up so I can take those bits out. Back in a mo. So I've filled up in here with carb cleaner, block this hole and put carb cleaner in there, so I'm just leaving it to soak for a bit. Well, it's still not got any budge at all. Always drain your carbs if your bike's going to be sitting for a long time. Dope! Right, I'll carry on trying to get this all off, and I'll report back in a bit. Finally managed to get the carb off. Yeah, if you're leaving your bike for a while, drain and dry the carbs. So this is this one off, this is the left hand carb off, so I shall repeat the same process, soaking it in carb cleaner, and we'll then start getting these down to be cleaned to get back on the bike eventually. So yeah, that's one off. Another half-hour mission to get the other one off. Right, second carb off. That was a mission. There's one, and there's the other. So I'll get these cleaned then. And yeah, we'll get these cleaned. I'll get the throttle cables off, give them a clean and an oil, and we'll get these all clean and tidy to get them back on the bike. Okay, so block up the holes on the engine and tidy up my mess, and then start carb cleaning. So I'm just stripping down the carbs. I've done a count of how many screw turns are on each of these screws as I take them off. And now it's a case of removing all the parts piece by piece, nice and carefully. There's a screw, spring for that. No seal, so that goes in, spring goes in. Spring, how does it differ from the other one? Okay, notice how the spring on this one actually takes up the whole entire length, whereas this spring wouldn't. So that's all those screws out. Checking inside for any O-rings, and I'm going to check the assembly drawings as well, the fiche, to see if there should be any O-rings or any seals in there. Taking all the parts out from in here, I can't see any O-rings or any other seals in there. So I'm not able to undo any of this unit, so that's now, the left carb is now stripped. The bowl was hideous. Check that out. Oh my god, that's so embarrassing. That, all the seals, floats, yes, that's the left one stripped. Let's do the right one. Right, I've spent some time cleaning up the throttle cables, so tidied them all up, etc., cleaned them out, degreased them, got rid of all the gunk that was in there, etc. I noticed on the first part that I've actually got a crack, so I put some heat shrink on that, and the end is beginning to split here, so I just made sure that the boot is nicely on the end there. So the next thing to do is to lubricate it. So previously I used some grease which seemed to have gunked up quite horribly. So this time, and what I should have used is just a bit of the old 3-in-1. I've got some of this 3-in-1 but with some PTFE, which sort of helps the lubrication process. And all I'm going to do is just squirt some of this stuff down the cables and work it all the way through the cables right down, so I see a little bit coming out the other end. And I'll do that for the primary part, and then the two ends as well. So that's all I'm going to do right now. So that cable's now done, so let's wipe off the excess, keep it nice and tidy. So that's the primary cable greased up, oiled up. Now I'll do one of the ones that actually leads to the carb, one of the short pieces. I'll do this with the other one, and I'll come back to you.